Welcome back. This is Newsfile, it's your most authoritative news analysis show. My guests are Kweku Bako, Kwabena Feud, George Law, Egbert Fable Jr. And let me now go to my wall. I've seen that there have been a lot of comments that have been posted on the back of the discussions that we've had. So let me now go to my wall and also read a few comments from my wall. So far, what I've been reading have been comments that you've sent by text message to our console. The messages on my wall are a lot. So let me see how many of them I can share with you. Now, this one from Enin Ajuman, he says, so far the judges have shown that they can't be taken for granted. And it's my prayer that all the three guys be imprisoned to serve as a deterrent to others. Even the owners too should be made to close the radio station to bring sanity to our airwaves. Now, okay, I find that some of you, what you have sent here, you also sent to our text console. Tanko Osman says that the judiciary has charged people for contempt. A few days ago, Parliament has also banned and summoned a daily graphic reporter. Does the Constitution not allow the executive to exercise the same power? Just the question. So you would have liked for the presidency to exercise some contempt powers. Emmanuel Mackay Tete says the contempt case pending is one that I find very intriguing and a bit unease altogether. I remember when during the petition, contempt became a big animal in the country. Then he says, in one instance, Atuguba, the presiding judge, was mentioned and castigated, but he did not recuse himself. Here, some are recusing themselves. So you are sending from Cape Coast. Okay, thank you for your message. Then Ahmed Entry Buampong says the Muntie 3 have been studying so hard over the last few days in preparation for the jail entrance exams scheduled for Monday, the 18th of July. To that extent, management has granted Mugabe Mase his application for study leave to have enough time to pass the exam. Okay, you are making a humor out of this serious matter. Nana Ajiman Ike says, it will be extremely dangerous for this country if Mugabe and his panelists are allowed to go unpunished. I fear to say that it will be a recipe for chaos and anarchy. They need to be punished severely to send a strong signal to all like-minded individuals. Jesse Boakon sends this from Mamprobi that language is the ability to acquire and use complex systems of communication, particularly the human ability to do so. Radio language must be polite, educative, inform, and avoid technical jargons. This Muntie squad before the Supreme Court must be dealt with according to the law. Moro Fuseni says that, he's sending this from Kumasi, says they must punish them to serve as a deterrent to others who are seeking to do same. Then Musa Abato, I think you sent this on our text console, so it's been read. Thank you. Jody is a lawyer of many years standing at the bar. He says, simple mantra, not all threats to judges constitute contempt, but all threats to judges may constitute criminal offenses. Think on these things. We are all on trial. Then Charles Darlington says, people say things like, things are likely to be thrown the country into chaos, and all we do is join them to apologize and go free. No way. Ibrahim Kopa, I think you also sent yours through the text console, so let me move on. And then this one, Josiah Dixon says, I think you didn't repeat exactly what Kojo said because it is in Bastard. I heard it. Okay, thank you very much. I cannot force you to agree with what I heard on that day, but I never heard Kojo call the president an armed robber. I wasn't happy about what he said, and like that, he also agrees. Cecil Collet says, Sam, my mouth no be gun. I think this reminds me of a very popular saying. Then Eja Kwawode says, the Muntie contempt saga if not handled well, will give people the advantage to take our courts for granted. Those guys must be punished. Okay, Abubakar Razak said, Northerners are well trained and very respectful, and the way Salifu Mase behaves does not look like a well trained Northerner. Then Osumfo Davis says, I know a lot of talk have gone on even before those arrogant NDC boys appear before the Supreme Court judges, but the judges should bear in mind that the punishment they will give will either open or close the floodgates. So we should all watch this. I will take just two more comments. Eliasu Haruna in Tamale says, the Supreme Court must punish the guys to deter others. These were guys who knew what they were up to. One of them claimed he was going to marry the judge. Okay, sorry, I can't continue from there. And just one more. Okay, Yao Koshivi says, Samson Ladi at his propaganda best. Choose and picking MPP. Okay, sorry, you should have sent me some message I should read for you. Okay, so I think I can end it there. And there's another one you say, okay, thank you. As for those accusations, I am used to them, so thank you. Now, we can look briefly at what happened in the Ashanti region. Kojo Bonsu has resigned, the mayor. He resigned not because he wanted to, because pressure was brought to bear on him. The Asanteman Traditional Council had issues with him because the Otumfuo had sent a representative for a project that is ongoing, a market project that's ongoing, and that representative, at a certain point, his capacity was questioned by the mayor. He was asked to, as we are aware, justify his capacity that indeed he had been brought there by the Otumfuo, the Asanteman Council. That's as far as I know. And that led to a series of things. The chiefs had to do a ritual or a sacrifice, and that he had committed a big sin against the Asante stool. So this is where we are. They said he either resigns or the president sacks him. The president didn't sack him. He has resigned. Some say this is sad commentary on good governance, on a Republican status that we are. Kuku.
Wow. I wish I could maintain my silence on this matter.
Please speak up a bit.
It looks as if silence might be golden on this matter. But you need to serve the public interest. And I wonder how you decided to start with me and the kind of introduction you made. Because look, I'm so constrained. I'm a Republican, out and out. Of course, I appreciate the fact that the Constitution recognizes traditional authority. And we all, as citizens of this land, have places we come from. We have kings, we have chiefs, and other forms of traditional authorities. Yes, maybe Kojo Bonsu was not tactful enough. Maybe he wasn't strategic enough in how to go about his human relations and other relations with authorities here and there. Maybe. But I find it so difficult to reconcile myself with a situation where traditional authority issues an ultimatum to a president and gives a timeline for which that ultimatum should be fulfilled. Otherwise, this. I'm hoping I'm not attacking or assaulting the sensitivity or sensibilities of any traditional area or authority. It's a tightrope I'm walking, and that's why I wished I hadn't spoken on this matter. But I find it very difficult to reconcile myself with this situation. You can express your displeasure with an appointee of an executive. But to say, and looking at a graphic report, you slaughter a ram, and your reporter said the ram means, in terms of tradition, Kojo Bonsu had been killed and therefore could not be resurrected. That's the tradition. And to say that if he didn't resign and wasn't removed, then the traditional council, the authority, will frustrate implementation of projects. Is that not what they said? That's what the graphics
That's the suggestion we got here.
That they will stall development projects. I find it difficult to accept that situation. I have to be honest with you. And I've chosen my words carefully because I don't want to be banned from
There's
entering.
someone who seems to know about Menchia, and when he was explaining the crime, so to speak, of Kojo Bonsu in the instant case, he said, you see that the chiefs went to slaughter a ram, that in the olden days they would have needed a human being.
Yes, here. Your own reporter said, let me quote, he said, they explained that in the past, if anyone disrespected a chief, tradition demanded that the person is killed to appease the Nanamu. The killing of the ram therefore signified that Kojo Bonsu had been killed, and therefore he cannot be resurrected. Erastus reported. That's your...
Yes, Erastus as our example.
Yes.
Erastus.
Yes, in the past. We are in the present. We are in modern times. And you see, it's because I have huge respect for Otumfuo. He's a great chief, a king, if you like. Great. I know him personally and I admire him. So it's part of the difficulty I'm going through. But let me generalize a little bit. In recent times, you hear police they ban somebody from entering the jurisdiction, or they are even threatening to exile this person. It's rubbish. You ought not to be entertained in a Republican setting. Well, you are the lawyers. Maybe there's some legal regime to support them doing that.
I've done my take on it once, that is unconstitutional.
Thank you.
You cannot say that anybody is being banned.
Yes, of course. This one, we are not talking of the banning and exiling and things.
Exiling,
but we are talking
particularly.
of a situation where traditional authority actually issued an ultimatum and said, take this man out or we will stall projects. Hey, how about Semini?
This was a meeting of no mean chiefs when they held that press conference and spoke to the media.
I have a difficulty with that. I have to be honest with you. And I've actually restrained myself because of the respect I have for the Otumfuo. And you see, the Asantes, they are unique people when it comes to their chieftaincy. It's no joke.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, of all the chieftaincies that we have are here, they are uniquely unitary with a certain significance and symbolism.
Yes.
And I admire it. I have to be honest.
They say that in the Ashanti region or in Kumasi particular, if Otumfuo, you don't have his blessing, forget it. You can't hold yourself up there to perform any role as a leader. And that is what has manifested. And some also say the president may have ensured that this is done because he's afraid of what he might lose in the coming election.
But the regional minister says the man is still at post until the president acknowledges the resignation.
Until he accepts it.
Yes.
well, let's look at it from different perspectives. And I must confess that out of respect for the chieftaincy institution, I've worked closely with that institution at various states. And indeed, I come from a traditional area whose traditions are akin more to Akan, particularly Ashanti traditional norms. So I get the drift. But suffice that to say that people choose to resign all the time. So if Kojo Bonsu has resigned, I don't have a problem with that. The only problem you have is when the resignation has not been as voluntary as you would have wanted it to be, and that it has come as a result of some.
This was a forced resignation.
As some pressure from one quarter or the other. You see, for me, my sadness is derived from the fact that, believe you me, Kojo Bonsu in the Ashanti region has brought significant, significant development. If I could put it that way. The Ratri Park, the other projects that is being done, the KJTR, I know he's been in the forefront of that project, and all the other projects that is happening, particularly within Kumasi itself. And these are huge projects that the president, has supported him to do, to bring development, water and roads and all that. So you would have thought that this is a person who everybody will be united in supporting to even bring more development to the recently when the president went to Ashanti region for his accounting the people tour, saw the number of development projects that he commissioned and those that he visited, hospitals and all those things. So that for me would have put Kojo Bonsu at the highest pedestal in terms of his stewardship as a mayor of Kumasi. Unfortunately, we've had always to battle with tradition and democracy. You see, like Kweku said, in the Ashanti region, even if you coughed somewhere near somebody who is supposed to be a representative of Otumfuo, the extension is that you've done it to the Otumfuo, and they take the Otumfuo very seriously. I know Kojo Bonsu himself is a royal. That's what I hear. I hear that he's
so how could he have committed that blunder without making sure that tradition was followed?
Well, you see, Samson, there's something I say every day, and it's a lesson I keep. It's a school I attend every day to learn new things. Sometimes the things you do with the slightest brush off, that this thing, let me go, this one, let me. They are the things that cause you huge trouble, and this seems to be one of them. Because maybe he had just sought to say that, look, for this project, we need people of a certain caliber. I don't see you as being able to represent that interest. So what are you doing here? I wasn't at the meeting. I wasn't at the place where he said it. But it could be misinterpreted to mean anything. But the important thing is that, well, decisions have been made. But I am happy to say that so far, we haven't heard that the president has said, based on what the Asanteman councillor said, I'm relieving you of your post.
We are running out of time.
But the important thing is that Kojo Bonsu himself has assessed the situation and thinks that possibly I don't want to jeopardize or poison the atmosphere further.
Right.
So he's stepping out. If the president so accepts, another person will come and continue where he left off. And for me, that is where the matter must end. The person at the heart of the matter says,
thank you very much. You are saying if the president so accepts, Kweku had said that the president has not yet accepted. So do you really think that there's any option? The president has an option in this?
The president has no option, Samson. I mean, let me. He has no option. He should accept it. And now, you see, Samson, people. Oh no, this is not real politics. But my friend,
people think it's not good enough that there were attempts to apologize. People had gone there.
My has been killed, as your report says. Why can you resurrect him? Look, they say they are Republicans. I'm also a Republican. But the Article 271 of the Constitution provides, and I read that the institution of chieftaincy, together with its traditional councils, as established by customary law and usage, is hereby guaranteed. The killing of the ram. Isn't it a customary law and usage thing?
I don't get your drift. No, I don't get your drift.
Sorry. So we are running out of time. So let's allow him to.
You see, politicians should be careful with their relationship with traditional authority.
Agreed, but
look, I think that what is unconstitutional about what has happened? Nothing.
No, but
the people say they can't work with you. You understand? So resign. Or president remove him.
Or stall projects.
Well, it's a threat, not of contemptible. it's a threat, not of contemptible proportions. Now, the president has clearly refused to accede to the request of the traditional council, and Kojo Bonsu has resigned. You understand? You push. I mean, jump before you are pushed. You understand? All well and good, but you see, Samson, this Ashanti traditional council that you are talking about. Look, it has a lot of history.
Of course.
People may intentionally forget. But go back to even the Nkrumah era. There was a huge standoff politically between the especially over the activities of Bafo Kojo. In the end, the then Asanteman acted smart and actually abolished the stool he had created for Bafo Kojo, the Butueja stool.
Sure.
Now, when Nkrumah was deposed, Asanteman restored the stool and said, well, he did that under pressure. Now that Nkrumah was no more, he's restored Bafo Kojo. So this thing is not an easy thing for us to just look at it from a Republican standpoint and then say that, hey, the Constitution says this, the Republican says this. The Ashkweku himself said there's a real politique. If you are smart,
in fact, there are those who are saying that
of the chiefs.
there are those who are saying that it's not just about this issue, but that there was some currency already.
Domino, but
that a lot of things had gone that they didn't like.
It's unfortunate, you see.
Okay,
but I mean, Kojo Bonsu is a royal. I mean, he's my friend, but it's unfortunate the situation he finds himself in.
Right.
I think that, you see, it is. We should also not act as if he's indispensable.
Right.
I mean, if it's come to this point,
now, quickly, I'm coming to you, and then
the president can reappoint him
a brief comment also about the fact that after he's done what he did, you still have people within the region. This is not from the Mensia. People within the region organizing themselves, demonstrations for and against, and it does look like, as I heard in the news, that those who are in support of he leaving the place are in the majority. So it may not be the case I just mentioned that has a problem with him. Now, White Temple Agency, that's the place that you find a fare off, which is a luxury that you can afford. They have a variety of colors, and I'm talking about trendy and durable yet affordable stone-coated roofing tiles. They have a variety of colors and designs to choose from, and they would make sure that their professional team will attend to you for a whole year. All they require from you is the roof plan, and they will fix it for you in a way that you will like. Locate them at plot 65 Derby Avenue on the Children's Hospital Road, adjacent NHIS building arena, or their sales office branch at Old Wager Barrier, Accra West. And if you're looking for a loan urgently, please contact Bank of Africa. They will give you a loan within 48 hours, and you have 5 years to repay that loan. As you may be aware also, the Habitat Fair 2016 is going on as we speak. Is on. So if you want to be part of the Habitat Fair, which is brought to you by Sethi Realty and the Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing, visit their second mini Habitat Fair at the West Hills Mall from Friday the 29th to Saturday the 30th of July. Friday 29th to Saturday the 30th of July. Go there and get the best advice to get the best of housing for yourself. Now, what do you say? Obviously, it doesn't look like Suleiman Shada has a problem with him. And he has support anyway too.
Well, he has
Even
support.
the
I think that normally he's an appointee of the president. He's an appointee of the president, and he says at the mercy of the president. But is he something? I think that His Excellency the President has huge respect for Otunfo and the Asanteman Council, and that finds expression in most of his visits to Mensia whenever he is in Kumasi.
They're said to be good friends.
So I thought that they could have spoken to the president or lobbied the president if they felt that they could not work with Kojo Bonsu. So you have, other than coming to them,
other than Ghana have worked against.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm sorry, but we have just run out of time.
It's not the first time.
My guests have been Kweku Bako Jr., who is editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Kwabena Feud, he's a lawyer and member of the NDC. George Law is MP for North Daye and Vice Chairman, Constitutional Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Egbert Fabel Jr. is also a lawyer and managing editor of the Ghanaian Observer newspaper. Samson Ladi Ayenini, and as always, my outfit is supplied by Latida. Be Invoke, and the contact for Latida is 020-433-6444. Have a good afternoon.